Wake up in the morning, I don't got no worries, cause it's a beautiful day. So many wonder how long we will be here, tell them that we're here to stay. Hey yo, let's get it! Boss Talk straight from the city with true heart. We got champs in the making and champs that are brutal more. Got that all sport, optimal prime, ready to dominate. The hottest conversations, uncensored, it's the time and place. Boss Talks, keep it uncensored, it's all hard. You could be for more walks, come tune in to Boss Talks. Got that all sport, optimal prime, ready to dominate. Hottest conversations, uncensored, it's the time and place. Boss Talk.
All right. Welcome back. Man.
The first episode of season
2. Let's go, man.
You know what else is 2?
What's that?
Michael Jordan on the all-time great list.
Here we go.
Who's
Listen,
one?
he's nobody. Kobe Bryant.
Would be focused on that.
Kobe Bryant.
We focused a lot on it in season 1.
We did
focused
focus.
a lot
Yeah.
on it.
So this season we're gonna focus on Kobe, the great.
That's true. There's a lot of 2s that go with Kobe. So yeah.
Yo, man. Oof. Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to reality. So yeah, man, we took a couple weeks off. Ended season 1 on a high note.
Yeah.
And then we're kicking off season 2 now. Man, I'll tell you what. It was, season 1 was pretty tight.
It was. We had some very powerful guests.
Man.
In season 1.
You know what? There is a lot of, and I can't wait. We need to do a season 1 recap. I think we need to do a recap episode just because I tend to find myself going back and re-listening, and then it's like, damn, that was fucking gold, man.
Yeah.
That was golden.
There's
right
some
there.
nuggets
Yeah,
in
there was
there,
some
isn't there?
nuggets. Yes. Okay, before we get into that, welcome back to season 2, Boss Talk Uncensored. I am your host, Tino Amaya, along with my partner in crime.
It's your boy Jeff Copi in the building.
Yeah, man. Hey, real quick, I want to do a quick shout out.
Yeah,
Shirt. Yeah, Cheat Designs.
You guys see it?
Oh.
Lloyd Cheatham. And he handmade this too. Like, I don't know if you guys see that too well on the camera, but that's a person's face right there. And it looks very real. So shout out to
Dude,
Lloyd.
you know what? Like, I heard he uses bleach and this technique, and I don't even know. But listen, Lloyd, if you're out there, I need a shirt. Message me a price. I don't care. I've got some ideas. Let's go. I got to get one. He is an artist, man.
Bleaching
Absolutely.
shirts is not easy.
Yeah.
Listen, and I've seen some of his other work, man. I mean, the guy is just incredible, local guy doing some great stuff. Okay, let's get our sponsors out of the way.
Absolutely. Let's
Go
go.
ahead,
So we
shout
got-
us out.
Let's shout some out real quick. So shout out to Monroe Nutrition. We are Monroe, located right between Monroe Florist and our diner. We got some healthy energy drinks. We got some good shakes that will replace meals for you. And also, if you're looking to lose weight, gain weight, tone up, just feel healthier, come see us. We got some awesome health coaches behind the bar that actually do this.
And they care.
And we care.
Yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely. So shout out to Monroe Nutrition. Shout out to Triple D Liquidation. Good stuff at a great price. And we also want to shout out BSB Clothing Line. Be somebody's blessing. Our motto is, as long as you can make sure that somebody else's life is okay, God will always make sure that your life is okay.
100%. Thank you.
What you got for me, Tino?
Well, of course, we got Tino Amaya, State Farm Insurance Agency. Man, 20 years servicing Monroe County, Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky. I might be adding another state. I'm not sure yet.
Oklahoma.
Actually, I'm trying to add Arizona.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You want me to go run the office out there?
Listen, all my peeps out there in Arizona, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you soon, trying to get my license situated in Arizona.
Nice.
I've got a really cool group of snowbirds that have condos and things like that out there. So yeah, man, come see us. I mean, or hopefully I'll come see you, and then I'll get to come visit.
Right.
And then, of course, Amaya's Fresh Mexican Grill, where we make it fresh daily, or
His mama gonna slap him.
you already know. Mama's got that belt ready. Actually, I got an old Mexican mom, so she's got the chancla out. For those of you who don't know what a chancla is, it's a flip-flop, okay? It's a flip-flop.
I'm gonna need me one of them.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, mama ain't afraid to use that flippy flop.
She don't care if she gets canceled.
You know what? And again, we're celebrating. We're going on 9 years here in Monroe, servicing downtown Monroe, the crown jewel of the city. Man, I love it. Love being here. And then, of course, Amaya Group Inc. We do small restaurant renovations. We do restaurant consultations. We do menu engineering. If you're looking to revamp your space, looking to do some things to freshen up your menu, give us a call. Give us a shout. All right.
Real quick.
Yeah.
You know, I've been thinking about that Mexicali burrito.
Let's go. Do it the fresh avocado inside.
It just, and then the chips going with it. All right, you're getting me hungry.
Listen, and you can't, I'm going to say this really quick. You cannot beat the ranch dressing. We make it in-house. It's 100% vegan.
Yes.
And people don't realize that. You try that ranch, the best vegan ranch you'll ever try. We make it all in-house. It was trial and error, man. It took me forever to figure out that recipe, but I'm going to tell you what, it's fucking banging.
I'll say this, and then we'll introduce our guest. Yeah. What I love so much is that I can come down there, I can eat a meal, and I don't feel so bloated that I feel like I need to go to sleep.
Absolutely.
I still feel fine. I feel good. It's good food, good quality, and you can tell right when you have
all organic, pesticide free, and then of course we cook primarily with olive oil. So enough about us. Let's talk about our guests today, man. I'm super excited.
Who we got? Talk to me, Tino.
So today's guest, we have Stacey Westbrook here. And Stacey is a digital creator. She is a creative individual, photographer. If you haven't seen some of these pregnancy photos that she does, I can't wait to get into this because we did pregnancy photos before it was like the hip thing to do.
Yeah.
Look nothing like what she did or what she does. So without further ado, Stacey, welcome to the show.
Low budget sound effects.
Low budget sound effects.
Works for me.
Yeah. So do me a favor before we get started.
Okay.
Let's do this. Tell our guests a little bit about yourself and then tell them like your business, your handles, where they can find you.
So a little bit about me.
Yeah, let's go.
There's a lot about me, so I got to figure out what to pull out, what not to. Been a lifelong resident of Monroe County, born and raised here. A little bit of a heathen, but I got my life together. So
we're all a bunch of heathens.
A nurse by trade.
Okay.
And I left a really toxic job almost 13 years ago, and I took a year off and. You know, I was like always the family.
Do me a favor. Don't be afraid to project right there. There you go. Yeah.
You just yell at me.
No, that's all right.
I was always like the girl that had the camera at all of our family gatherings. And I shot my sister's backyard wedding with just a point and shoot camera for people, you know, just your everyday little camera. And I was just like, wow, this was fun.
Yeah.
And my husband, Lord bless him, 25 years, he has supported every wild idea I have brought his way, because every hobby I've ever had, I think I have to turn it into a business.
What's your husband's name?
Phil.
Well, you know what? Shout out to Phil. Phil, thank you.
He better not be watching right now, because I
thank you, Uncle Phil.
Thank you, Uncle Phil.
25 years of marriage.
At 25 years.
What's the secret?
I knew he was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Ooh. I won't even say communication, because we really aren't that good at that. Patience and honestly, like a foundation in Christ. I know I'm not here to preach the Bible, but
we don't listen. This is uncensored. You can say whatever you want.
A lot of tough times, and it all comes back to.
I'm going to tell you, you know, one of the best podcasts we did, and we'll give it right back to you. One of the best podcasts we did was Misty Finola.
Yeah,
oh God, I love her.
Listen, I still go back and listen to that one, because there was a moment. There was a moment there where I think you asked what the thing was, and she was like, complete submission. She goes, now, before someone takes that out of context, and she just went on this like nice, not rant, but explanation of what she meant. And I was sitting here with like chills going, dang. What a partner, you know, what a partner.
Yeah, but she did that really well.
Sharp woman. It's great to have her. So it's great to hear that. So this is an uncensored podcast. I am going to apologize to you because I swear a lot.
You don't have to apologize. My motto is I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
My motto is I love Jesus, I cuss a lot. Right. I'm sorry, Jesus.
I'm from the kingdom, bro. I'm from the south side of the kingdom.
Yeah, from the
hood. Right. I was born and raised on Half Street.
Even the kingdom has a ghetto, I will be there.
Right.
That's right.
So anyway, so you guys are married 25 years. How many children do you have?
7.
7 children.
Oh my.
Holy
7
cow.
boys.
What's the age difference between
Wait,
oldest and
wait, wait,
youngest?
It's funny.
wait. Did you say 7 boys?
Sure did.
Holy
Whoa.
fuck.
That's a football team right
Dude,
there.
yeah.
Like,
You know what?
Oh
I
my
have
goodness.
four boys and 1 daughter, so I get it. But anyway,
You know,
not quite,
and
but
I
get
feel
it.
like
right.
so this is a business podcast today, but growing
Yeah, you're
up,
good.
both my parents were drug addicts, and I didn't ever have
Mhm.
a bond with my mom, and I
Yeah.
like craved a daughter, like so bad. And you know, 6 boys later, I just thought, God, like I don't get it. Like I don't get it. Like I wanted a daughter so bad. I have granddaughters now. I have two granddaughters.
Oh.
I fully understand why God made me a boy mom.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I heard
I'm
we're a
not
little
like
easier.
the real girly girl type. Like
Mhm.
I only paint my nails to keep so you don't see the soil because I like
Mhm.
gardening.
Right.
So you don't see
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
garbage. But yeah, no, I fully get it now. Like now that they're older. But to answer your question, so the oldest 6 are between the ages of 21 and 29.
Wow.
And I have a 6-year-old because God's got jokes.
It
Yes,
do
he
be like
does.
that.
Yes, he
His
does.
name is actually Matthias, which means a gift from God. And I just tell people like God gives gifts, including gag gifts. He is
Yeah.
wildly amazing. Misty's restaurant is one of the only places in town that I can take him and feel comfortable because
Wow.
he just has so much energy.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm old now. I started early. Like I had my first kid when I was 15.
Wow.
So, and I just went against the grain. I went ahead and finished school, just showed the world I could do it.
Right.
A lot of people are like, wow, that's so awesome. You did it. I'm like, I don't understand why everybody else isn't. Like, why aren't we just doing what we got to do?
Right. No, what's crazy is I had that conversation with myself today. Just got back from vacation and I had a little bit of time to reflect. Not a lot of time, but a little bit of time to reflect. And one of the things that it all came down to is like, dude, if you just did what you said you need to do, or just do what you need to do, like,
Yeah.
do you know how much further you would be?
Yeah.
And so it's cool that you bring that up because like I have to look in the mirror and even say to myself, like, dude,
you know what? You and I must have been on the same wavelength today. Because like this morning, so we always take off for every major holiday.
Mm.
I'm going to apologize again to that guy that cussed me out yesterday when he called to ask if we were open. And that was like his 5th time calling the restaurant.
He wants one of them mama tacos.
I was like, bro, like you called 5 times. That was my response that set him off. I'm sorry. Yeah, we close for all major holidays and Sunday. It's God's day to us, right?
Yeah,
so we're
amen.
never open on Sunday, right? So anyway, but this morning when I got up, and I'm pretty routine in my thing. It's like 6:15. I'm up and I'm getting my cup of coffee and I'm kind of doing my chapter read. And I was reflecting on some of the things that I had lined up to do that I just haven't gotten done. And it was one of those moments where I was like, man, if I just followed through with this, I need to follow through with these things. So yeah, we must have been on the same wavelength this morning.
Absolutely. Awesome. And even you said you have a background in nursing, right?
Yeah.
So that alone, that speaks I feel like it speaks volumes on a work ethic, deal, because it takes a lot to become a nurse. Like I know people who have like failed that multiple times.
Yeah.
And my cousin, she's like the head of the Monroe nursing thing at the community college.
Okay.
And, we've talked before and she's like, it's not easy. So, so talk to us, like how have you used those those core values of becoming a nurse into your business today?
I don't really know. I feel like I try to market it, especially because I tend to say that I specialize in maternity and newborn, and I tell people like I'm a pediatric nurse by trade. So what happened is I had left my job for a year, started up photography. I knew nothing. Like I was like, I researched cameras. No, I didn't. I found one that fit my budget. Honestly, what I bought was
I love it. Be
a
raw.
fancy soccer mom camera, a DSLR, one that you could switch lenses, but it wasn't that great. Stuck it in auto mode and I was like, let's take pictures, let's charge people $25. And I respect people that start out there, but I'm obviously not at $25 anymore. And that worked real well for about a year. And then we moved. That's a whole nother story. We moved closer into town and I had to go back to work. I was like, this isn't cutting it. And
Mhm.
I had an amazing job. I did private duty pediatric nursing. And so I just worked with one family, took care of a little boy. Though that family is still very near and dear to me. Like we talk. She's a good friend. When I found out that I was pregnant with my now 6-year-old, I just told my husband, it's your turn. Like we've almost always, one of us has been home. Like it's been worth it. It's been more important for us to have one of us home
Yeah.
than for us to both be working and have our kids in daycare. And I know like some people have to do that, and like it hasn't always been easy. Like I don't know, but we did it, and it made sense when the boys were little. Like when we had 5 boys that were under 7, it made sense. My husband stayed home and raised them. You know, like
Right.
I probably was kicking and screaming the whole time, like I should be the stay-at-home mom. Isn't that what the Bible says? But you know, it worked. You know, and I have some amazing, and I'm not just saying that because I'm their mother, but like my boys are pretty amazing.
That's
They
awesome.
are pretty amazing. So, anyways, I haven't turned back. I haven't gone back. There's been a few times like I was like, oh, I should probably go back to work. Like,
Yeah.
financial, you know, my husband is all of his work is contract based. He's a journeyman carpenter by trade. He's a mechanic tech. Everything he does is contract based. So it's feast or famine, you know.
Right.
We didn't have parents to show us how to be adults. Like we're
Right.
45 years
I know
old,
that
still
feeling.
figuring it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And so
And I know the feast or famine.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
I was gonna say, I feel like everybody's had the moments. I don't even want to say one moment, but the moments in their, entrepreneurial career, like, man, do I throw in the towel and go get a job? Like,
Yeah.
I think we've all had
Yeah.
those kind of moments.
And I feel like many times over the last, especially after I had my 6-year-old, I was like, I don't know if you're a mom out there and you're like postpartum depression was so long with him.
Wow.
Probably like years.
Yeah.
Like years. And I have like chronic anemia. This is like long. This is how I got where I'm at. And now I was like, I need to be on your podcast. Like I need to finally do something. I know you know Miguel. His friend Jen was a very dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
And when she passed away, I don't know. It just kind of shook me. Like I just told my husband, like, I think I'm size 6 now. I should be able to like be busier. I don't have a big support system. You would think with 6 older brothers, you got endless babysitters, but they're grown, they're married, they got kids, they got jobs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I homeschool because why not? Why not just make your life even more crazy?
Right.
And so I took on her workload.
Oh wow. Yeah.
On all her stuff. And
Now, so when you say took on a workload, you took on like her clients? Did she have
all of her client, like they can go wherever. Like it was never for any kind of gain, like hoping to gain anything. All of the galleries that she had already shot but not edited.
Right.
I opted to edit those, and I'll be very transparent here. There are people still waiting for their galleries.
Oh man.
I wildly underestimated like how much. I mean, she was very transparent. She hated editing, and she was it's what we would call like a heavy shooter. Like
Yeah.
like literally thousands of photos.
Yeah.
In the middle of all that, my computer crashed, and I also agreed to fulfill all of her sessions that people had paid for.
Oh,
so that Miguel wouldn't have to be refunding those people. So I'm still like, we're still plugging away. Like some of the people that had baby plans with her, like we're still just shooting them. And it's been fun to like see them grow up. And I know that Jen would love that.
Yeah. And you know that like by you stepping up and doing that, that's going to come back tenfold. Like, and God sees that, and God sees who you're being, and he's going to say, well done, good and faithful. So shout out to you for, just being that person. Right.
Well, thanks.
That's
she would have done the same.
Yeah.
I figure. And then I got sick in March. Like ended up in the hospital. We don't go to the doctor. Like we're not sick people. And that was it. Like, I feel like because I was a teenage mom, like never had any parents, like just literally struggled with identity my whole life. And I just thought like, I'm always quitting. Like I'm quitting photography. This isn't what I want to do. I've done t-shirt businesses. I've done like crafting businesses. Like I do homestead, like everything I do. I'm like, I got to make it a business. I like started this art program, nonprofit that still is like tucked under the rug. I probably shouldn't talk about it. But I just like want to do all this stuff. I like don't have the executive function to do it.
Right.
And I finally went to a naturopath. So it was like, it's an iron. It's like a lot of deficiencies that because moms don't take care of themselves.
Well,
We
I
just
don't.
don't.
I'm not going to say just moms. You know, I just had I just came through a really rough time. You know, February. You know, I got really sick, and we had to take a few weeks off in February.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
because I was really sick. But so I don't think it's so much
So maybe it's
just
just
moms.
entrepreneurs
I'm
don't
gonna
take care
say,
of
yeah, I'm gonna
themselves.
say it's like really entrepreneurs.
Mm.
I'm
People
gonna
in general.
say, you know, yeah. I mean, I think it's an everyday thing. I mean, we don't prioritize a handful of things, you know, on a regular basis. Number one, you know, mental health. We don't prioritize that. You know, we don't prioritize our overall health.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think there are times when it finally catches up to you, man, it catches up to you in a big way.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
kind of cracks you in the forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to kind of bring us back a little bit, and I don't want to change what you're saying because I like where you're at right now. But talk to us a little bit more about like how you actually started with your current photography business, because you kind of started there, like you bought the DSLR, you were kind of like
And then I
doing the
rabbit trailed.
25. Oh, that's okay. That's
That's what
my
I do.
job. It's my
What I
job
do.
to pull
Yeah.
you back.
All
So
right.
that's what we're doing, right? So then, but when did you kind of say, all right, I'm going to make this a business? And what was that transition like? Okay, this is now going to be my full-time gig. I'm going to start booking appointments. I'm going to start charging accordingly. And this is my business. When did that happen? And I'm not sure. Did you tell us the name of your business?
BYP Studios.
BYP, which I know from Instagram because,
Mm.
you know, I think I follow you on Instagram.
Okay.
But just for our viewers, those of you listening, BYP Studios, you can find her on Instagram, Facebook too.
Correct.
Okay,
And
there
a-
we go.
and a Poorly done up website.
Let's go. Let's
Hey.
go. Okay. So
Because
how
I
did
have
when
to
did
do
you?
everything on my own.
Yeah. When did you make that transition, and what was that like?
So funny thing is, when I first started, I was like, oh, I don't know what to call it, and I have a blog, because my end goal in life, like my number one goal, has always been to write and speak. Like I haven't been through the shit I've been through to not
Right.
empower other people with it.
Absolutely.
But I've never been confident enough. And this whole health thing is what I'm like. So, anyways, I was like, oh, I'll just call it multi-purpose memories. And that was like the dumbest thing. So a couple years later, when I was like, all right, we're going to do this. And I changed it to Beautiful You Photography. So I've rebranded 3 times in 10 years. And it was like BEYOU, Beautiful You. And my mission was to just capture people beautifully living in their beautiful chaos. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need to put on, like, it doesn't need to be posed and perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like,
That part. Yeah.
I don't know, probably from my own photography sessions that were traumatizing from my children who
Yeah.
are little brats.
But you know what? Sometimes those are the best photos, man. They
Yeah.
really are. You know, like we have, you know, so my kids, their mom was really big with photography. Like she wasn't a big photographer, but she loved taking pictures.
Getting
So we have
photos,
a shit ton of photos, man. I was just going
Good for
through
her.
some for my, well, you know, growing up, and I didn't care because growing up, my parents, we were dirt poor.
Right.
We
Yeah.
couldn't afford it. So,
Yeah. Same.
you know, when I graduated from high school, I'll never forget, you know, I think I have probably 2 real photos of my mom and dad with me in a cap and gown, but I didn't take senior photos. I didn't do you know what I mean? There's like a photo of me in the yearbook, and it's like a photo that I think my mom took with like, you know, like a throwaway camera that we went and
Right.
got, and then we turned it into the yearbook people, and they were like, really?
Right.
This is it?
This is what you got.
This is it, man. That's all we got. You know what I mean?
Best I can do.
So no, I'm with you, man. I mean, you know, and I love those photos though, because as we were taking photos of our kids, we have a lot of them where they're like crying, like someone's fucking melting down in the corner, and
Yeah.
the photographer was just like, you know, and
Yeah.
those are like my
I just
absolute
did a sitter
favorites.
session, what we call a sitter session. So
Yeah.
it's like between 6 and 12 months, you know, when they're sitting up independently, and she lost it like midway through. And I was like, oh, getting this one for the senior board.
Yeah.
You know, and those are always fun. They are definitely fun. But so then about a year and a half ago, I was like, this Beautiful You. This is stupid. Nobody can find it. Like, it doesn't make sense when I'm trying to explain it to people. Like, it's Beautiful You, but you got to spell it a different. And I just thought BYP was, it's
simple.
sounded more
It's simple. It's
professional.
clean. It's easy.
But at the end of the day, like, I still don't, I'm always wanting to quit because I'm horrible at running a business.
Yeah.
Like, please don't make me keep a budget. Please don't make me like put money in other accounts. Like, it's so, but I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because March woke me up, I guess. And so like, I've been working towards that. And
this is what I want to say though, is I want you to change the way that you speak about yourself. And I've noticed just from sitting here, there's been a couple of things, say, oh shoot, like and I need you to like, because you said you want to do speaking one day, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you get other people to believe in themselves if you're not believing in yourself?
Listen, I'm working on it. Can you
let's
just
go.
like sit on my shoulder?
Yeah,
Let's go.
absolutely.
Listen,
But
Jeff's the one. He's the
I
man.
just want you to just change your language, because our subconscious mind, our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and fake. So if I say, man, I'm fat, you guys look at me and you're like, you ain't fat.
Right.
But my subconscious mind doesn't know.
Right.
Gets locked in.
Right? It gets locked in. And so I really start thinking like, man, I'm fat. Man, I'm out of shape. Man, I'm this. I'm this. And they say the two most powerful words in the universe are I am, and then whatever follows.
Yes.
So just be conscious of that.
And it's I obviously really don't see it, and I've been working on that, like retraining my brain. And I like, of course, I take everything that I'm excited about to my husband. I'm like, we got a high five in the morning. We got to like imagine like the great day we're gonna have. So have you ever heard of Mel Robbins? She's the whole high five.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So I don't necessarily high five ourselves in the mirror, but we high five each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like when I meet somebody new, like instead of shaking their hand lately, I'm just like, let's just high five. Like,
Yeah.
just makes you feel better.
I'm a hugger.
I'm
You
a
see
hugger
it?
too.
Yeah,
As I walked up, I was like,
if
"Give
you
me,
come
bring
at
it
me with
in,
a hug,
bring
I'm
it in."
totally hugging.
Yeah.
But like, if
But
in another
I'm gonna
situation,
jump on something that Jeff said really quick, real quick. So I have a thing that I say. If you ever ask me how I'm doing, I always say, "Man, I'm doing fantastic."
Yeah.
Thanks for asking. Right.
Yeah.
I got that from an uncle that passed away, my Uncle Fred, and he didn't say it that way, but he was my favorite uncle. I'm going to take you back in time, back to the mid 90s. Early 90s. I was opening restaurants around the country, and he was a big timeshare guy. He didn't have timeshares, but he was the guy that would take the vacation for the timeshare just so that they could go on vacation for the week. And he knew he had to spend one day with their presentation. And so, like, he would leave
We've done a couple family vacations with those.
Yeah, he would leave the wife
How
and
else you
kids.
take 5 boys?
Well,
to
yeah, he
Wisconsin
would leave the wife and kids at the pool. He would go do the thing.
Yeah.
But knowing that he's going to say no the whole time. And so he was, that was his thing. But so I'm opening a restaurant in Mobile, Alabama for this company. And they coming back and they're like, "Hey, chef, there's a guy out here who says he's your uncle. He's here to see you." And I'm like, "My uncle?" And you go back to the early 90s. I wasn't as pleasant as I am today.
Yeah.
I think I dropped a few F-bombs. "Don't bug me. What are you doing? We're busy."
Right.
But I go out there. It's my Uncle Fred. And I said, "Fred, what are you doing? Like, what's happening?" I'm like, "How are you doing?" And he was like, "Man, I'm fantastic, son. How are you?" That's the other thing. He called everyone son. So fast forward, I'm in Port Huron, Michigan. Now I'm here in Michigan opening a restaurant. "Hey, chef, there's somebody out here to see you." And I'm like, "Who the fuck would be here to see you? Nobody even knows I'm here."
Right.
My Uncle Fred. So now he had cancer, and he's in Grand Rapids. He's in the hospital, and I go to see him, and I walk in his room and I say, "Hey, Uncle Fred, how you doing?" He's like, "Son, I'm doing fantastic." And so I asked him, I said, "Man, how can you be doing fantastic?" You're like, "Oh, we had to wear masks. We had to wear the hazmat suit." I mean, he was in bad shape, I said, "How can you be doing fantastic?" And he looked at me and he said, "Because I know where I'm going." He said,
Nice.
"So he said, this is nothing.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. So I'm doing fantastic." And after he passed away, I said, "You know what? I'm going to steal that from him," because it just always made me feel good, even for him.
Yeah.
When I would walk in that hospital room and just to hear him say, like, "Man, I'm doing." So I stole it. That's my thing. But if you ever ask me,
Yeah.
I always say, "Man, I'm doing fantastic."
I've heard
That's
you
awesome.
say it
Yes,
quite a
I
few
do it all the
times.
time. And thanks for asking, man.
I love that. I love that.
So anyway, jump in. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, that was good. I love all your little stories that you have. He has some
my
good
little quirks.
ones.
Yeah,
He has some good ones.
been around a long time.
So he's been around for a while. So run us now. So where are you at right now with your business? Like, what are some? You said you were doing about $25 an hour when you started off.
No, $25 a session.
Oh, a
A
session.
session.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Okay.
caught that.
Which
Uninsured, unregistered.
Right.
Like just give me $25.
right.
and
give me
I'll
25
Put your
bucks
photos
on
on a CD.
Right. Yeah. So what does it look like now? Like, what is it like to like? How do people book you? You tell us some
So
prices?
they
to all that.
usually they message me and they'll ask me for pricing, and then I'm like, God bless it, Stacey. Would you get that pricing stuff done so you can stop messaging the entire thing? Like I'm like, but it takes time. So like a newborn session, they start at like $300, which honestly is still probably not expensive enough. And they get instead of me delivering 40 images, because what do you need 40 images for? What are you going to do with 40 images?
Right.
So I do what's called a soft proofing gallery, and I'll just like tweak the white balance exposure so they can kind of get the gist of what the image will look like. And then I send them over a soft proofing gallery and they'll pick their images. Now I got to remember, I think it's $15 for a full newborn session. A full newborn session is $395. The simply wrapped, where they're just wrapped up, is $295, and you get like 10 images. And then they also get $100 print and product credit. Because while I realize we're in a really digital age, and I'm not trying to compete with where technology is going.
Right.
I also know that it's really important that you print your stuff.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do if you don't print it? The average lifespan of a digital file is only 10 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, sure, people are like, well, I got stuff older than that. Okay, I said the average lifespan.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your CDs? Because a lot of computers don't even have CD drives.
Right.
They don't have a CD drive.
Look at USBs are now changing to like the USB 3s or C or whatever.
C.
I can't even keep up.
Right.
So, just print what you want to preserve. So I have a studio just up there. It's what used to be called Hair Corner.
Oh yeah.
Right on Elm and Bentley.
Yep.
I'm just tucked away in the corner there. I don't know if I have full liberty to say. I am working on moving downtown.
Nice.
Be sharing a space with somebody. I'll just won't go.
Don't go deep. Yeah.
So
I do that all the time. I throw teasers out there, but you can't really.
Right. Yeah. It's been I don't know why, but it's been my like dream for as long as I can remember to have downtown space.
Let's go.
22 years ago, before I even considered being a photographer, I told my husband, okay, I lied. He did tell me once. This was like 22 years ago. I was like, let's get a little downtown space in Dundee.
Yeah.
We lived like on the outskirts of Monroe, like by Mile and Dragway. And our kids went to Dundee school. So that was kind of our community. I was like, let's just open up like a little boutique or something. Like, I just want to be downtown. And he was like, that's really a good idea.
Right.
That was the only time he told me no. But like, I just longed for downtown space. And I just feel like Monroe makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm a Monroe resident. Like, I have roots here. I have stories here. And like,
you could walk to Amaya's for lunch.
For
Let's
sure.
go.
Like, it is that close. I'll be like, yo.
Yeah.
But even if it doesn't stay a photography studio, I don't know what the future holds. Like, I'm not like, I want to retire doing this. I love what I do, and I want to invest everything I have into doing it. Like, I've been obsessed with babies. Obviously, I have like 7,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I say, though, it's a little misleading. When you tell somebody you have 7 kids, they probably think you're more domesticated than you are. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm cut out. Like, I think we've just been pretending. My husband is way more domesticated than I am. Like, he's like amazing.
That's awesome, man.
Hey,
shout out to Uncle Phil again.
Shout out to Uncle Phil.
So,
that was the key, though. That was the key. I don't know if you caught it. The key to their 25 years of marriage is he's only said no once.
One time. Yeah, that was the key.
That's the key.
He's like, no. He's like, all right.
Right.
So I am going to give you a piece of advice. And I just gave this advice to a young entrepreneur out of the Ohio market. He called me up, kind of said the same thing you did. Like, man, I don't like this aspect of it. She's a creative also. And so she was telling me how she was about to go back to college and take some business courses because she'd love to be a better business owner and and just kind of like blah, 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 and I listened to her. And then I said, let me save you about 40 grand. And she was like, okay. I said, for $100, you could have a bookkeeper that can handle all of that for you. So you don't have to worry about budgeting. You don't have to worry about all the bullshit. You don't have to worry about billing. You don't have to worry about, you can set it up through, I think it's Honeycomb or whatever, where you can set up, your billing, and of course with PayPal and a lot of these other, digital things that you can utilize. But that was the advice I gave to her. I said, man, find yourself a good CPA Find yourself a decent bookkeeper that's going to cost you like maybe, depending on the size of your business, $100 a month. For about $2,400 a year, you could spend 98% of your time just creating, just building the business, building the brand, really getting yourself out there, having fun, and not having to worry about all the other bullshit that comes along with it, right? For me, I have my daughter, Jillian.
I just took notes on all that.
Yeah, my daughter, Jillian, and then I've got Sasha that, and Laura. I mean, I'm surrounded, and Linda at my office. I mean, I am surrounded by some incredibly talented individuals that do all that for me.
Nice.
Gives me the opportunity to spend hours in the kitchen coming up with new ideas, new recipes, new things, traveling, doing a lot of the other stuff that I do with the restaurant consulting side of the business. And even with that, when I take on a project, I bring my whole team with me, right? So they may not go to like Miami with me, and trust me, I always hear that, like, hey man, how can you take me to Miami, right?
Yeah.
They may not go on site with me.
You probably hears it the most from me, honestly.
I know, right? but I send things back, and like Sasha's incredible about creating a lot of the digital footprint that we use. I mean, she's just been absolutely phenomenal with it, and so I can utilize that stuff whenever I go back out again. So just one piece of advice, man. And that, I mean, instead of getting bogged down or getting overworked or listen, find a CPA, find a bookkeeper.
I finally did get me one.
And then you can just alleviate, alleviate that whole side, because your bookkeeper's
always like trying to do my own Schedule C, and then I didn't even file
let them
2021 taxes.
Yeah, let them do it.
Anxiety.
Let them do it. You know what I mean? And then the only thing they're going to do is call you and go, hey, what was this charge? And like, was this actually a business? Yes, it was a business expense. So tell me where I can fit it in. Trust me. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what Diane said. Like, you're making it too hard.
You're
like,
making it too hard, man.
Just,
go have fun.
Like, get one account, everything in,
because
everything out.
I've seen your photos, man. I'm telling you. And I said that earlier. My ex-wife, we did a lot of baby photo, sessions, and dude, your stuff is incredible. You're extremely talented. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be spending more time creating, less time worrying about that bullshit.
Right.
Now, know it, paintbrush yourself, right? Because I do have another saying that my son Jackson loves to throw at me: the checker gets what the checker checks. And if you're not the one checking it, don't be upset when you're not the one getting it, right?
Yeah.
So, that's why I say, man, go create, go do your thing, review with them when you have to, and so you get that paintbrush of where all your stuff is at. But man, go build, go create, go have fun.
Now I just gotta find those people that
LinkedIn. LinkedIn. No.
LinkedIn.
You know what? Listen, I just got a message from somebody that I'd reached out to, and I'll share it with you. That's a bookkeeper. I mean, they start at like $100 a month.
Wow.
A month, literally.
Right.
I mean, LinkedIn.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to tap into that. And that was some bars. I love that.
Well, you know what? I try every once in a while, man.
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
I'll throw something out there.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Every once in a while.
An old timer told me that when I hit the golf ball down the middle. He's like, see, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every
once in a while. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the nature of kind of where you're going now, right? So we talked about how you got here. Jeff kind of pulled out a little bit about what you're doing. Let's talk about future. Where do you see the business now with where you're at, possibly moving downtown, possibly partnering with someone? What does that partnership look like? Why are you doing it? And then where's the business go from there?
I think for me, the partner, it's a partnership, because I do work with them. They have, the people that I'm partnering with, a lot more experience with the business side of this. Obviously, they're very talented in what they do as well, and for sure, like, I'm never above learning from people. But I think that is the big thing, is that they're going to help me. Like, they're just going to help me grow up.
Yeah.
Here I'm 45, and I joke and I tell people, like, I'm 45 years old. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, because
oh man, don't worry about it. I still tell people I'm Peter Pan. I'm the boy that never grew up.
Right. Like, you just want to keep.
Yeah.
And in the photography industry, there's Facebook groups, and like everybody's like, you gotta stick to one genre, you gotta stick to this. And I would just like focus all my energy on maternity and newborn, and I like spend all this money building this client closet of gowns and this wardrobe of stuff, and then like nobody uses it, and I'm like, And like this
Yeah.
stuff is not cheap. Like those
Right.
little headbands you put on those babies, $25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like for some cotton, and like I just need to get fancy with a hot glue gun. Like
Right.
they're talented. Like I'm not denying that, but
Right.
and I don't have time for that. But oh, where was I going with that? I just decided, you know, like I would do senior photography and then I cut out weddings, and then I'm like, oh, I just need to focus. And I'm like, screw it. You know what? I enjoy photographing all of those things. And I don't care if I'm just down one job. I'm going to do what brings me joy.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you are a senior and you want your photos, then we're going to rock it out. And I've heard so many, especially with boys, probably because I'm a boy mom. Boys never want their photos taken. Rarely.
Yeah.
I should say rarely, because once in a while I'll get one that'll really be hyped up. But and they're just like, oh, you made it feel so comfortable. Like you didn't make me feel awkward. You know,
Yeah.
I probably crack some horrible mom jokes, you know, thinking that I'm
yeah.
thinking I'm cool, but I'm not, you know. But so I don't know, just gonna do that. I'm gonna take it where it goes, find my market, stop worrying about, just send my pricing and don't look back.
Yeah.
Because I would find myself
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to run a special, I need to book, you know, we need to make some money. Like,
You know what?
I'm
So
just not selling myself short.
and
anymore.
that's one other piece of advice I'm going to give you. I had a friend of mine that owns a restaurant north of here, and he and I got into a conversation about, you know, doing the you know, the specials and the daily specials and the, you know, the Tuesday this and the Wednesday that, and the, you know, he even mentioned Groupon at one point. And I said, you know what, man, I whenever I come to a restaurant, if it's not a chain, if it's an independent, and I see a 2-for-1 special or a 2 for something or something that's severely discounted, to me, that tells me they're on their way out and they're desperate and they're throwing Hail Marys. I would much rather go out of business, because I'm responsible for 47 employees.
Right.
So I'd much rather go out of business charging accordingly to support my first and foremost, the business itself, all my employees, et cetera, and make sure that I'm charging accordingly for it before I do a special or before I do anything else. I'll just go out of business then. You know, I'm good,
Right.
but I'm not going to shortchange because they're the ones ultimately. And in this case, you know, I would say it's your family that's going to suffer in the end. You professionally are going to suffer in the
my
end.
husband paying my studio rent.
Well, that's what I mean.
sold
Yeah,
myself
right.
short.
Yeah. Because you ended up selling. And so then overall, like the family unit suffers because you couldn't or didn't want to or didn't believe you could charge accordingly. Trust me, you're talented. Someone's going to pay that price.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Someone's going to be willing to
Right.
pay that price.
And I think that's the thing too, is like I've actually lost friends. Like, you know, we years back, Facebook rant, like people tell me they can't afford me, but you know, they do this, that, and that. People afford what they value.
100%.
So, you know, the same people that tell me they can't afford my $300 session are going to Disney every other year, or
Right.
you know, they're like going on vacation every other month, even if it's just small, because that's what is important to you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to apologize for my photography is a luxury service. I don't owe it. Like, I do enough community service work, whether it's photography, like I serve on a couple nonprofit boards. Like, I don't owe anybody anything.
Yes,
but
I
the
agree.
best version of me.
Yeah.
And that's just what I need to say.
I just posted that the other day on Facebook. The hey, we may be cool, but I'm still charging you full price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a really fair point to make. I mean, if you're my friend, you know, Jeff and I have had this conversation. I don't think Jeff and I are great friends, whether he realizes it or not. How old are you, Jeff?
26 now.
26. Okay. So we're, you know, I mean, he could be my son. We're far enough apart. You know, but in age, but I look at him as another mentor that I have. And a lot of people might look at that and go, holy cow, this guy's like 26 years old. Why would you consider him that? Because he's wise beyond his years. But furthermore, the conversations we have, right?
Right.
And we've had these conversations where I'm like, man, I don't ever expect you, even today, when he brought these up, what's the first thing I said?
He was like, oh, what's the Venmo?
Yeah, let me Venmo you, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, dude, it's good. Okay, cool. Let me buy you dinner next time you stop in, right? Because as his friend, I would never expect to come in, get the friend special, get the friend deal.
Right.
No, bro, like it's $9 and somebody, you know, 99 cents, whatever. I don't even remember. I don't even know what they are. I was just throwing my 10 down. And, you know what I mean? It's like $9. Like, bro, like here, you know, I want you to succeed because you're my friend.
Right.
So when you see those people that you've lost friendships with because they were like, well, Stacey, I can't believe you're going to charge me $350 for the fee. You know what I mean? But then next week they're on their way to fucking Kalahari or some bullshit.
Right.
You know, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. You know, that's funny you say that, because it's like with what I do, you know, we have the healthy drinks, we have and we show the results, you know,
100%.
the results, what do they say? The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
And I had somebody in there today who said, yeah, I can't drink shakes because it's going to hurt my stomach. And I can't really drink the teas because, you know, I just get too, you know, jittery. Well, all right. You know, and then we continued on and they told me about all the beer they were drinking and all, and and the cookout that they went to. And we had this food. I'm like, so something that's good, you know, low calorie, good amount of protein, good nutrients. You can't have that because that hurts your little tummy, but you can have all this greasy food. You can, and again, it's just what people see their value in, you know.
Something?
And
My sister's like that. I do a lot of, like, fairly new to it, but like I'm a homesteader, you know.
Yeah.
Grow my own garden. I raised my own meat chickens last year, and that's a nasty job when you got only 3/4 of an acre.
Yeah,
but when I offered to bring a turkey for Thanksgiving, my sister actually said, it's not homegrown, right? Like you can only bring it if it's store bought. She's wild.
Wow.
I'm like, sure. Yeah, I think mom brought it. It's just been chilling in my freezer and I just want to get it out. But yeah, it's not homemade. Like, she doesn't want anything.
That's bananas.
She wants to be that disconnected from her food.
Wow. You know what though? I mean, hey, but I'm going to finish that thought with this though. And so I hope you don't ever discount yourself, because I truly mean this. And I went through all your Instagram photos, man, they were taking me back in time. But I was like, holy shit. Like some of them where the people are like holding the baby and they're like, you know, dad on one end, mom on the other end. I was like,
yeah,
like, dude, that's a precious
and then you
photo.
Get on and you look at the people that you look up to and you're like, oh, but you know, you got to stop, because what do they say?
Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
100%, man. So I will say this: don't ever discount yourself. Yeah. Don't ever let anyone steal that joy from you or make you feel less than, because you're talented. Yeah, you know. And like Jeff just said, the proof's in the pudding, and there it is. I mean, I'll pull it up, and man, people go on there and look at her stuff. It's great stuff. Great work.
Well, thank you.
And it seems like that's truly your gift. Yeah. Is what I'm from what I'm understanding.
Creative mind in me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's what you can do the very best with the least amount of effort. You know, that's what they say your God-given gift is. And I mean, you probably have multiple, but that's pretty neat, you know, and that's tough to do because not everybody can do that, you know. Right. So real quick, run us through what are just a couple like principles that you take every single day, like morals that you have as far as like that has gotten you this far, right? You know, it could be integrity, it could be, you know, whatever. You tell me, like, what are some things that you do every single day, like that has put you this far into your business?
I think it is probably my number one thing is to judge no one.
Okay.
And I know, like, when my I guess she's an ex-daughter-in-law, her and my son are divorced, but you know, I still call her my daughter-in-law, and we joke like that I'm like the rational Christian.
Yeah.
I know, like, overall Christianity has like a bad vibe, you know, people are judgy and they don't, you know, and I'm like, it's not, whatever your life isn't affecting my walk. It's not affecting whether I'm getting to heaven or not. Like,
whoa,
it's just
really?
my job to love you,
right?
No matter where you are.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, and I try to teach my kids the same thing. And
wow.
Yeah, I love that.
I like that.
They're a little more redneck, but
that's okay.
That's okay too.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, man.
So mine is this. So if you could give any aspiring entrepreneur one piece of advice that you wish you would have had when you first started, what would it be?
Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and do what brings you joy.
Yeah.
I just it probably only hit me recently. For myself even, but you know, in one of the photography groups, somebody posted a picture and it was a little non-traditional. Like there was like some elements floating, you know, that wouldn't normally be floating. She's like, what do you guys think? And, you know, people are like, oh, it doesn't work for me. Oh, you got to, you know, if the clients like it. And I'm like, who cares what we think?
Yeah.
Who cares what any of us think? You have to do what brings you joy. This is your art, whether it's photography or paint or digital. You know, like I was like in awe of all these posters as I walked around. I was like, man, they just like printed off every graphic that they've made. Like, this is pretty badass.
Yeah.
But you know, like you just have to do what brings you joy. Nobody's responsible.
Absolutely.
You can't worry about making anybody proud of you except for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's, I don't know, probably working on it myself, but
Yeah.
that's what I would say to anybody else.
I love it. I
Man,
love it.
we got about 4 minutes left. What you got, Jeff?
You know, I just want to say thank you for coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on here and just being transparent.
Made me feel so cool.
Yeah, you're the cool mom. You're on Boss Talk.
I was
I'll
gonna
tell
say,
you.
man,
That's
yeah.
right.
But no, thank you for coming on here and being transparent. And something I just want to say is I had this drywall on my shirt the whole time. Dang. Anyways.
I thought it was part of the shirt. I'm not gonna lie.
Just keep sharing your story and keep being transparent how you are and authentic, because
that is definitely my mission.
when you're at the top of the mountain, you're the very top of the mountain and you can't grow no more. There's only down, right?
Right.
And people learn more from your failures than they do from your successes most of the time.
Right.
So just keep doing that. And if you do that, like the speaking and the kind of like the motivation and all that stuff and inspiring others, like that's gonna come.
I just said that last week too. I'm like, you can't even suck unless you start.
Yeah.
Like, you can't start unless you just get
the only reason Tino's where he's at compared to where I'm at is because he's failed more times than I have.
Right.
Right.
That's a true story.
And I've definitely, I've had my fair share of failures.
That's a true story. Yeah. Hearing you when we first started this and hearing you say, man, I turned every hobby into a business. I can tell you right now, there are some hobbies out there that I turned into businesses that I was like, God, what the fuck was I thinking? What that cost me?
It's been important to learn to let go. Like when you know it's not right.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, we started an apparel line with 2 other girls. And I think I clung to it so long because I don't have a lot of close girlfriends. You know, I was 15 when I had my kids. So I don't have like those high school girlfriends that you keep a knit with. Just for all the reasons. You know, I mean, I have friends, but not like your go-to.
I get it. Yeah.
And I think it was just nice that I could like get out 2 nights a week. We would make our shirts, we would do make our designs. And then I was finally like, this isn't the direction I'm supposed to be going. I got
right. A social hour.
It was hard. Like, and I've probably sold every multi-level marketing company, Tupperware and 31, like just because I'm just like, I gotta do the things.
Right.
So done.
No, you know what?
We've
all been there. And I, hearing you say that too. I mean, I don't have a lot of friends. I know it's weird when I say that to people. They're like, what? Everybody knows you. I'm like, no. Yeah. I have honestly, my circle is so tight.
And it should be
so small, but so there's nothing wrong with that. But I know that feeling.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, listen, you know what, man, this was a great conversation.
It really was.
Dude,
this was really good.
I mean, you know what? I do want to send a couple other quick shout outs. Number one, Brain Jerk Entertainment, our producer, Josh, that keeps us on time, keeps the sound checks going well. And then, of course, Kyle Buckley, man.
Yeah.
You know what? The theme music, which you're about to hear, the outro here in a second. Man, Kyle, always getting it done here in the community. Everybody behind us. I can't do too many sponsors to shout out.
Right.
But Stacey, I want to thank you also for taking the time. Man, this was a great conversation.
It was.
I look forward to seeing where your business goes, and I am confident that, like I said, if you get a few pieces put in place, man, there's no way to go but up.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
All right.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. All right, man. Hey, that's it. That's our show for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Until next time. Peace. Hey.
Boss Talks, keep it uncensored, it's all hard. You could be for more walks, come tune in the Boss Talks. Got that